Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to think about the insane amount of data that's being created literally every second. Every single click, every purchase, every little sensor out there, it's not a river of data anymore, you know? It's an entire ocean. And to get around that ocean, you can't just use a paddle. You need a completely different kind of engine.
So, I've got to ask you, and be honest with yourself, is your favorite go-to data tool, the one that feels like a comfortable old pair of shoes, is it secretly holding your career back? It's a tough question, I know, but in a world that's moving this fast, what feels comfortable can actually become a major roadblock. I mean, for years, we were dealing with data in megabytes and gigabytes. Think of it like organizing a local library, a few thousand books. Our tools like Excel or Pandas were amazing for that. But now, we're talking terabytes and petabytes. That's not a library anymore. That's like trying to index every word on the entire internet. Your old school card catalog system, it's just going to collapse under the weight of it all.
So what's the solution? How do you possibly get from one side to the other? Well, you don't try to jump the canyon. You build a bridge. And this bridge connects the language you probably already know and love, Python, to the raw, unfiltered power you need for this new world of data.
And that bridge has a name, PySpark. So what is it, really? It's the Python API for a beast of an engine called Apache Spark. Now let that sink in. It takes the clean, simple, easy-to-read syntax of Python and marries it with the insane, brute force power of Spark, which is one of the best tools on the planet for distributed computing. It's an unfair advantage, really.
Here's the magic behind it all. You sit down and write some pretty familiar, straightforward Python code. PySpark then acts as this brilliant translator, taking your code and converting it into instructions for a massive cluster of computers. So all of a sudden, that little script you wrote isn't just chugging away on your laptop. Oh no, it's commanding a whole army of machines to get the job done for you. That right there is the power of PySpark.
Okay, so we've got this incredible technology, but where is it actually being used? Is it just some niche thing for academics? Absolutely not. The real answer is, it's everywhere. PySpark is the hidden engine quietly powering huge chunks of our modern world. And its reach is just massive. We're talking about banking, where it spots fraud in the blink of an eye. We're talking healthcare, processing enormous genetic datasets to find cures. It's running behind the scenes on the e-commerce sites we shop on every day, and in the telecom networks that connect us. This is not some optional tool. It's truly foundational tech now. And think about what that enables. You know that fraud alert you get from your bank? Yep, probably PySpark. That you might also like this recommendation on your favorite shopping app? That's PySpark too. It's the invisible giant doing all the heavy lifting for these massive data pipelines and complex machine learning models that we now take for granted.
Now, a huge part of its success comes down to one thing: pure, unadulterated speed. See, older tools were like a chef who had to run down to a basement pantry, that's your slow disk storage, for every single ingredient. PySpark, on the other hand, is like a master chef with everything perfectly prepped and laid out on the counter right in front of them. That's in-memory processing. The difference in performance isn't just a little bit better, it's an absolute game changer.
And here's the kicker for the modern world. PySpark was practically born in the cloud. It works beautifully and seamlessly with AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. What that means is companies don't have to build their own giant, crazy expensive server farms anymore. They can just fire up the computing power they need right when they need it. It makes big data so much more accessible.
Okay, let's pivot for a second. Let's talk about you. Because understanding a technology is cool, but what really matters is how you can turn that knowledge into real-world opportunities for your career.
The market is basically screaming about this. Recruiters are all saying the same thing. They need people who can handle real-world, large-scale data challenges. See, they're not just looking for someone who knows how to write a bit of code. They want problem solvers who can operate at scale. And that's exactly the skill you're proving you have when you know PySpark.
And this skill translates directly into some of the most in-demand, high-paying jobs out there. We're talking about titles like data engineer, big data developer, analytics engineer, machine learning engineer. For these roles, PySpark isn't just a nice-to-have on a resume anymore. It's often a core, non-negotiable requirement.
So for anyone who's learning this stuff, the benefits are super clear. First, you're not just learning a library. You're fundamentally understanding distributed computing. Second, you're getting experience with data frames, but at a massive scale. Third, you're learning how to build robust, scalable pipelines.
And finally, all of this just makes you way, way more employable.
But listen, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Please avoid the student trap of just memorizing syntax. The real pro mindset is about deeply understanding the concepts. Asking why. How does the data actually move across all those machines? Why is this join so much faster than that one? The syntax will change, but those core concepts, that's what builds a lasting career. That is the difference maker.
So, let's wrap this all up. When you look at the future of tech, it's pretty clear that the ability to scale your work isn't just a bonus skill anymore. It's a mandate, it's a requirement. And getting good with the tools that make that scalability possible is absolutely key to your future in this field.
And that's what it all comes down to. PySpark is just so brilliant because it lives at this perfect intersection. It brings together the simple, friendly, easy-to-use world of Python with the tough, industrial-strength power of distributed computing. You really do get the best of both worlds.
So, here's the bottom line. In the world we live in now, learning PySpark isn't just a good idea or something to get around to eventually. It's a strategic move. It is a direct investment in your own future, in your ability to not just get by, but to really lead and thrive in a career that is built on data. Which really just leaves one final question, and it's a personal one. The world of data is scaling up at a mind-blowing pace. The tools are here. The jobs are out there. The only question left is, are you ready to scale with it?